Okay, and we are back. We are ready to start making our boost. We are excited and happy. Definitely. Now, the first thing we want to do is to set up the target contract. This is going to be the staking contract. We want to get its ABI onto the app so we can use it. Right now, we are not we are fetching ABIs, but we're not doing it for encoded transactions because we'd like all that data to be constant and described as these Legos. So here we have a large collection of contracts, all the different ABIs that we use on the app. This isn't really the ABIs. These are pointers to where the ABIs exist in the app, and that, oh boy, is in this big contracts folder, and you can see all the glorious ABIs. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our farm contract and add the ABI into this contracts behemoth folder and just kind of, throw it onto the heap. So first thing we're going to do is going to go back into the old Rinkeby Etherscan. So we're just going to paste in the address of our farm so that we can go find the ABI. All right. All right, now that that has finally finished loading, here we are at our Etherscan, and this is the staking contract that we're going to be calling. We'll just hit the contract here, and inside you're going to find, I'm sure this is old news for a lot of experienced developers here, but just going to mention where you can find this stuff. We're going to copy this ABI back to our app. Swapper staking.json. There we are. So here's our new ABI. Perfect. And we're going to look for ABI.js. And you can see here is where we import all of our ABIs, which is pretty nuts, but this is how we do it. And we're going to import Swapper staking from contracts.swapper staking.json. Then we're going to get this. This is the object that gets searched from that contract Lego. You'll see in a second. So we have that key copied here. We're going to want to remember this so that we can go to contracts source/data/contracts, and then we're going to paste down here swapper staking, making a new object, location. So this is a local ABI. We're storing it right on the app directly. So we're going to set it to local. We have an ABI name. Remember I told you to copy that. So we'll add some quotes here. Swapper staking right here. And then contract address. What is that? So this is what tells us to find the address for the chain that we're on. So it's going to reach into our context data, our store of context data. It's going to look for our chain config, and then it's going to look for the field disperse app. Now you may be wondering, what is going on here? This is just a string. Under the hood, what it does is it does a search of the app. It breaks this all up, cuts out all the periods, and does a search of the app for these fields. And we add the chain config into the context data just so that we can search it later on. And you'll see why that becomes important later on as we start building our form and our contract interaction. So let's go to chain.js. So it's source/utils/chain.js. And here we're going to have all of the data for all of our chains. And this is the massive object. We're on Rinkeby, and for the sake of this tutorial, this is only going to be a Rinkeby boost. But I suggest when you're making your boost, you make it multi-chain. You find, you get an ABI, and then you find an address that exists on every chain the contract exists on. So if you want your boost to exist on Gnosis chain and on mainnet and Polygon, then you have to go and find those addresses for each of those chains, find their code, and then come down, maybe, hopefully, you know, preferably somewhere in the bottom here. What I'll do is I'll make a field called swapper, and this is just going to be on Rinkeby. I'm just going to add that again, swapper, and then we're going to make a subfield staking. And then what was that contract address again? It was this right here. So I'm going to copy it. So now in our context data, .chain config, this is the chain config right here, our chain.js. That's what's going to get dropped into here. We want to get the .swapper .staking. Context data dot chain config dot swapper dot staking. I know this is a little weird. It's not how things are usually done. This is something we use. This dot notation is a search tool for searching our application state store for data so that we can express all of our contracts, interactions, forms, everything is not everything, but a lot of these things that we need to scale out many times over as this data so that we can one day move it off the app. And so also that we're not writing the same React components hundreds of times over. All right, so moving on, we have our contracts set up, good to go. Now, in the next video, we're going to finally get to that form.